Oh, good morning. Just came back from our 7-mile Fartlek run. You can see my recovery heart rate is 147. Oh, it's warm out today. Alright, see what we're looking at. Alright, 3 days of recovery. Yeah, I knew I kicked my butt today. That's going to be bad. There we go. 7.04 miles. Average pace 7:55. Did I graduate? No, dropped one, but that's because I totally kicked butt. As expected, it's crazy warm out today, like 89. You'll see that in a little bit. So, oh, also, real quick. So you see 5:43 in the morning, Thursday 22nd. Don't like the red zone. Gotta love that. Here you go. Ready to do my 10,000 steps. I guess that means I can sit down for the rest of the day. Just kidding. Alright, time for my shower and we'll be back.
Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to Fartlek Run Week 5 on my training program. Wheatgrass will be ready here in a day or two, but after this morning's run, it's chocolate milk. The high protein chocolate milk like I did on Saturday. Because, oh wow, I just totally kicked butt this morning and it's hot out. Welcome to Phoenix, Arizona. If you follow the news, we're hitting record heat this week. So like yesterday, I think it was like 116. I don't even want to know what today's going to be, but I can tell you this. Per Garmin this morning, it was 88 degrees out. And 88 degrees before the sun rose, so even better. So as I kind of went over you guys on Tuesday, because week 5, or now we're in phase 2, everything's kind of being changed around a little bit. And last Thursday you saw I kind of did my 7-mile Fartlek run, and I did about 5 speed drills in the midst of it. And I mentioned this week I was going to kind of switch it up. I've kind of changed the game plan a little bit. I think you guys are going to like this. So what I did today was out of 7 miles, I did basically 6 strides. You can call them speed drills, you can call them sprints, but basically to me stride is I just kind of rolled into the speed. I didn't exactly sit there and go from stop to sprint speed. And so I let myself roll into it just to kind of get the legs warmed up, get the turnover in. And if we take a look at some of these, you can see the warm-up time, depending on the stride, was still within 5 to 10 seconds from the time I took off. And I know, certainly if this was a sprint, that wouldn't fly. But for what I was doing with it, it worked out just fine. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look. As I shared this just a moment ago, 88 degrees, and again, this is 4:44 a.m. So yeah, welcome to Arizona. Average cruising speed was 7:55 today. Not too bad. You can see here where I did my 6 little strides, in between my run, just basically my 7-mile run, and like with last Thursday, you can see the heart rate just slowly kind of crept up. Except this week, because it was definitely warmer out, the game definitely changed. To give you an idea, today's 88, last Thursday was 72. Same 7-mile run for June 15th, 4:45 a.m., it was 72. So I'm dealing with 16 extra degrees at the same time in the morning. This is why I run at the crack of dawn. And ironically, if you watch those hourly temperature charts on weather apps and stuff, allegedly it tells me that 6 a.m. is supposed to be the coolest time in the morning. And that's about the time when the planet starts to heat back up. Well, I'm not waiting till 6 a.m., but so for an extra degree or two, I'll just deal with it. Anyhow, we go down here, and so when I added that 6th stride, what I'm doing is my first mile is still legitimately a warm-up mile. And then every mile after that, during the half-mile portion of that mile, then I'll go ahead and add a stride to it. And so you can see here, first stride, 6:05, 5:49, 5:57, 6:18, 6 flat, 6:14. And you might remember last week when I mentioned how during my run I was crunching numbers to figure out exactly, hypothetically, how long or how many strides I would need in order to get roughly a 100-meter dash. And I mathematically came up with the idea that about 67 to 70 would be it. So I count out 70 strides. I've gotten better at that. And 70 strides, when we do that on the calculator, we figured out that 100 meters divided by 16 is 0.06 tenths of a mile. And so 0.06 right there. I admit I thought I miscounted, so we got a little longer, but I was really steady on the 0.06 thing. So that counting your stride thing kind of paid off. And if you didn't watch last Thursday, I determined that based on my stride on my Tuesday when I was doing intervals, that at about 1.43 meters to 1.46 meters, mathematically I figured out somehow in my head that about 67 strides would equate to about a 100-meter dash. So I rounded that off to 70 strides just to be fair. And so I counted out 70 strides, and this works out like a charm, 0.06 every single time. And so if you want to do something like that, I flip them over in intervals of 10. So I'll count 1, 2, 3 all the way to 10. Then I'll go 1, 2, 3 all the way to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. That's how I do it. Because doing the first simple 9 digits is a lot easier than 21, 22, 20. I mean, it's just easier. And so I just flip them in intervals of 10. And the less my mind has to do, the better I can focus on running. But again, with that, I wasn't too concerned about getting crazy fast today. My more concern was getting more strides in with my run. Because ultimately, the goal here is to learn to run faster for a longer period of time. And so I know last week I was kind of strategizing about doing the same 4 basically speed drills during my Fartlek, but making them longer. Well, my feeling is if I add short speed drills or strides throughout my 7 miles, then overall the 7 miles has gotten a little faster. And throughout the entire 7 miles, I'm picking up the speed. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. I've got another game plan for next week. I'll let you guys in on that next week. That's going to, again, continue to build with this. As far as rolling into it, you can see here, best pace is 31, average 5:47. This was the only one that was truly off. I never hit 5:27. I looked at the numbers. Don't know where that came from. But here, again, average pace 5:20. Well, hang on. No, sorry, it's like this one. Yeah, this one was wrong because I never hit best pace. This one here, I don't know where average came in because 5:38 was kind of like my average. But needless to say, and then here, this was a good one. I was only 1 second off between my best pace and my average moving pace. So not too bad. You know, you could tell I could probably just roll into it a little slower. But that's fine. You know, your leg is getting tired and things like that. And here, best pace and average, flat on. Nice looking there. And here, just off by 5 seconds. Now, something else that we want to take into consideration too is, as I shared with you guys last week, about 174 beats a minute is my threshold. And this was based on when I had my VO2 max tested 4 years ago. And it came in at 154. Now, as you saw this morning, I came in a little lower. So obviously, all your numbers are going to adjust a little lower than that. So 174 today might realistically might be 172. I don't know. But you're still going with that 174 number. You could see after my fourth one, 4, 5, and 6, my average heart rate never went below 174. And so when you look at this and you come over and you say, okay, from 36 minutes, 23 seconds all the way to the end, you figure 19 minutes and 23 seconds, this turned into a threshold run. So not only was I doing Fartlek, I was also doing threshold all in the same run, per heart rate anyways. So that kind of helps to better understand why, per Garmin, I'm going to need 3 days to recover. Now, clearly, I don't have 3 days. As of now, yes, I'll run tomorrow morning. And then, of course, I got my long run on Saturday. What am I going to do? Well, I'm definitely going to stick really strictly to my goal heart rate pace of 155. I don't care. I really don't care per se how slow I have to run to keep that heart rate at 155. But the goal is to keep it at 155 because obviously after this, after increasing my my intervals on Tuesday from quarter mile and a halves, there's going to be some leg fatigue. Yes, I worked legs out yesterday. Wednesdays are legs and shoulders at the gym. And so taking that into consideration, plus the extra running on Tuesday as far as intervals, that I think a lot of that, along with today's heat, definitely played into overall body fatigue. Yes, the heart was challenged, but we also remember that if we use watches like this to tell us about VO2 max and heart rate and hypothetical recovery time, those recovery times are all based on your heart recovering so it can do this again. It doesn't know, the watch itself does not necessarily know where your body's at. So I have to consider that. So when I run Friday, when I run Saturday, I'm not too concerned about a slow run. I'm really not. I don't care if it's a slow run. It's because it's heart rate run, and that's the focus on that. Now to kind of give you some apples to apples, last week, again, 16 degrees cooler. I highlighted my speed work there, and yes, last week 5:20 to 5:45 was my average pace for, again, roughly the short distance. Again, it was also shorter. It was cooler. These were all, again, about the same distance. So it was 16 degrees cooler. And then you'll also notice that, and I'll go back to this in a second, my average pace, which is in white for like the cool down parts, I pretty much held an 8-minute mile. My body was cool with that. And outside of right here, my heart rate, outside of speed work, my heart rate stayed below 173, 174 in my cool down time. So last week, I ran a little slower on my cool down time, and then of course it was cooler, so the heart was not as taxed. Whereas here, as we talked about, my heart rate averaged about 174, so I was basically doing threshold run for the last almost 20 minutes of this. And you could see even in the white, other than the first one, I was cruising around about the 750, so about the 750 pace. I don't know what. Wow, I was definitely, average pace, sorry, wrong column. So between 745 and 755, I was cruising along on my cool down. My body today, other than, right about here, my body just didn't feel like running at 8-minute pace. It was warmed up, going from even 20 seconds at 6-minute pace, going back down. My body felt that the 750 was more ideal to what it felt like doing today. So I let it do it. And to be honest with you, when you start out at 88 degrees, you already feel warmed up. My warm-up mile didn't even feel like I needed a warm-up mile because mine was already warm. So I think things like that also contributed to things. But so anyhow, we're going to go ahead and wrap that up today. I've got something I'm going to share with you tomorrow, Saturday after my run that kind of goes into that. Oh, something else I wanted to try to give you apples to apples on. Oh. Let's do this. Again, just kind of give you some quick apples to apples. Same here, 792 compared to 798. Somehow I spent 6 less calories, though I kicked my butt. I still, again, managed to hit that 5.0 on both days. Today's maximum heart rate was 183, whereas last week was 184, but definitely only for a short period of time. My average heart rate last week was 166. Oh, I'm sorry, today was 166, and last week, oh wow, same 166. That's kind of cool. And so, again, just kind of give you some quick overall my numbers. So, in a lot of ways, it was a pretty comparable run. outside the temperature, outside the fact that my average cruising speed was a little higher towards the, in between my drills, it was still a good comparable run. I feel like progress has been made, especially running hot, so I can't complain. Tomorrow and Friday, tomorrow and Saturday, definitely make certain I make my heart rate run strictly a low heart rate so that my body and my heart and lungs can recover. And although I dropped VO2, I expect that again because the heat and the stress, the heat and everything else was putting on my body. Not to mention the fact that I spent 20 minutes in basically threshold pace. So that wasn't planned, but I just kind of let my body do what I wanted to do because it felt like it. So I feel good today. I feel like I had a good workout. I don't feel sore or fatigued per se, but I feel like I have a good workout, and that's good enough for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop for now. Like the video if you like the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'll be happy to address those. And if you haven't already, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe so you can get my video log updates Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as I train for my first sub 3-hour marathon. That's it. And you guys have yourself a great day, and I will see you Saturday morning. Take care.